Bonjour et bienvenue, Year 10 French to the Foundation Remote Learning Week 3. We're talking about là où j'habite, so your local area. Et bien, on doit say where towns are in France and England using the points of the compass. So we're going to go through those again. On devrait, so you should be able to say what type of town or village you and other people live in. On pourrait, so we could use intensifiers like very and lots of, adjectives that we've already looked at, and relative clauses, okay, to enhance our descriptions of where we live, and I will come on to look at those later. Okay. Bien, ok, pour commencer. Choisis l'image correcte pour chaque phrase en français. So what I want you to do is have a look at these 7 sentences in French and choose the correct picture for each sentence. This all relates back to the previous 2 weeks fact book learning. So if you've done your learning of your vocab, then you'll be able to do this no problem. Okay, so pause the video and have a go. Très bien. Okay, so we're having a look at these answers then. So 1 was G, j'habite dans une nouvelle maison individuelle. 2B, au deuxième étage, il y a un grenier. Remember from last week in your rooms in the house, un grenier was a loft. Je ne regarde pas de télé. Don't watch the telly. Remember last week as well when we looked at negatives and I asked you to have a go at doing some negative phrases. Je ne regarde pas de télé. After the negative, you don't need un or une or le or la. You swap them out for a de. So it's always je ne regarde pas or je ne whatever pas de and then the noun. Ma maison est douillette. So that was 4C. Douillette meaning cozy. Dans ma chambre, j'ai une commode en bois. Okay, I believe that en bois was one of your fact book things that you needed to learn, that you were tested on, which was wooden. Okay. Dans la cuisine, il y a une table rouge, 6D, and 7A, il n'y a plus de rideaux en velours dans le salon. So, il n'y a plus de, there isn't any more. So, there used to be some velvet curtains in the lounge, like this, but there aren't any more. So, il n'y a plus. Okay. Très bien. Pause and get down anything you need from there. And move on. Okay, so les points cardinaux de la boussole. La boussole is the compass. Les points cardinaux are your cardinal points. Okay, so we're looking at these cardinal points here. So I've got a compass for you here and a map of France for you here. La carte de la France et la boussole. Okay. Eh bien, des phrases. L'île se trouve dans le nord de la France. Voici l'île. Voici nord. Voici la France. L'île se trouve dans le nord de la France. Okay. Brest se trouve dans le nord-ouest de la France. Il y a Brest. Il y a le nord-ouest. Brest se trouve dans le nord-ouest de la France. La France. Okay. Clermont-Ferrand ici est situé dans le centre de la France. Centre, okay, it's a cognate. It looks like it is like it means the same as centre, okay, de la France. Clermont-Ferrand, ici, dans le centre de la France. So what you'll notice is we've used se trouve to mean where, to tell us where something is. I've also used est situé, okay, as well, which is a different phrase. It means the same thing. Literally means is situated, okay. So having a look at these 3 phrases and the way that they are constructed, we've got the name of the town. Then we've got where it's found, in, so our preposition, thinking back to week 1, how we said in or on or near, we're using in, our compass point, and our country, de la France. Okay, this little word here, de, means of. Okay, so literally the whole phrase, Lille is found in the north of France. Okay, it's often these little words that we miss out that we really need to get right and get in there. Okay, so looking at how these 3 sentences are constructed, can you tell me in France, in writing full sentences, où se trouve Lyon, où se trouve Reims, où se trouve Bordeaux, où se trouve Pau, où se trouve Grenoble? I want you to write them in exactly the same way as these sentences have been constructed here. Okay, so moving on then. What I want you to have a look at now, la carte de la France, encore une fois. So here we are, la carte. Okay, we have la boussole, just here. We've got some different phrases here about the towns. And you've got to tell me which town is it. C'est quelle ville? Alors, j'habite dans le sud-est, près des montagnes, dans la troisième plus grande ville de la France. I'll take this as an example. So, j'habite, I live, dans, your preposition, le sud-est. Et sud-est, sud-est is down here somewhere. Dans la troisième plus grande ville de la France. It's in the third largest town in France. Don't worry if you didn't understand this bit here. What I want you to look for is the place on the compass and try and go from there. So in the southeast, sud-est, here we are, sud-est, Grenoble, it must be Grenoble, okay? So pause the video now. I literally just want you to write 1, 2, 3, 4 and then the name of the town. I don't need you to write everything out at the moment, okay? Pause the video. Okay, et les réponses. So number 1 we said was Grenoble, number 2 was Bordeaux, because it was dans le sud-ouest. So sud-west down here, sud-west down here. We've got 2 in the southwest, but this one, Bordeaux, is célèbre pour le vin. Fact book last week had célèbre as one of your adjectives to learn, meaning famous, pour le vin, for wine. Okay, if you didn't know le vin was wine, then you do now. Okay, and it also said it's au bord de la mer. Pau looks like it's a bit inland here, and Bordeaux is kind of on the coast. Nous habitons dans le nord de la France, près de la Belgique. We've got Lille here, okay, because it's nord, just here, nord up here. Okay, so la Belgique, nord, dans le nord. C'est une ville qui se trouve en Bretagne, dans le nord-ouest. Nord-ouest, nord-ouest, c'est Brest. Okay. Je vis dans le centre du pays, à l'ouest de Lyon. Remember we said the centre was in the centre. Luxon is the same. It's a cognate. Clermont-Ferrand, the only one we've got there in the centre. So it has to be Clermont-Ferrand. Bon, okay, mon frère habite dans le nord-est, dans une ville au sud-est de Lille. Okay, so we've got 2 compass points here, le nord-est, sud-est. But it's au sud-est de Lille, and it's dans le nord-est. Okay, nord-est, nord-est. Il y a Lille, c'est sud-est de Lille. It has to be Reims. Okay. Dans le sud-est de la France, il y a une grande ville où on joue au foot. On joue au foot, we all know that. Olympique Marseille is down here. Big football team in Marseille. And c'est dans le sud-ouest, au sud de Bordeaux. Here's Bordeaux, sud-ouest. Okay, and it's sud de Bordeaux, so south of. Remember we said this little word here, de, means of. It's in the south, to the south of Bordeaux. It has to be Pau. Okay. Have a look at your high frequency language here. Il se trouve means it is found. Il est situé, it is situated. We said that before. And près de was near to. That was a preposition from the other week. Okay, look back in your fact book to find these things. Your compass points are not in your fact book, so what I want you to do is write those down if you need them or take a screenshot. Bien, okay, on va écouter maintenant. Okay, so you're going to listen to some people talking about where they live. This is all your fact book learning from this week, so you need to have a little look in there if you've not done your learning yet. So une colline is a hill. Bruyant means noisy. La circulation is traffic. We've seen these things before, but it's just making sure you know them. And beaucoup de, lots of, trop de, too much. All I want you to do is listen and match up the statements 1 to 6 with the letters A to F. Okay? You can pause and rewind as many times as you want. There you are.
1. J'habite sur une colline à la campagne dans une grande maison. 2. Ma famille et moi vivons dans le centre-ville de Lyon. C'est quelquefois bruyant, mais c'est toujours animé. 3.
Ma sœur habite dans la banlieue de Marseille, dans un petit appartement.
4.
Comme j'habite dans les Alpes, j'adore le ski.
5. Mes grands-parents vivent dans le sud, au bord de la mer. 6.
Moi, je vis dans un joli petit village dans le centre de la France.
Okay, so if you want to listen to that again, do so. Pause, rewind as many times as you wish. Et les réponses. So just note down what you got right, what you didn't. Okay, mark out of 6. Hopefully you did quite well, especially if you have done your fact book learning and your vocab learning. Yeah, okay, so putting it all together now. So Viacoute, where do you live? So we're going to use the pictures to describe the town where you live. Right? You can either use j'habite or je vis for I live, okay? Doesn't matter which one really. You might hear j'habite à York or je vis à York. You might hear j'habite avec ma famille or je vis avec ma famille. Okay, I'll take you through the first one here because we've got 4 towns that I've chosen: York, St Ives, Keswick and Londres or London. Okay, you must remember that Londres is not the same in French. It does change. Okay, so it's not London, it's Londres. So if you want to say last weekend I went to London, don't say je suis allé à London because that's not right. Okay, so you will lose marks for that. So York then, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got a picture of a compass. Okay, we've got some people who are tourists, so it's a touristy town. We've got a cathedral, so it must be quite historical. We've got the centre of the town and a bit of traffic. And we've got some noise that goes on here, okay? So how might I put this together? How might I actually give myself a good description of York? So j'habite à York, nice easy way of opening. Il se trouve, again, remember, dans le nord de l'Angleterre. So it's in the north of England. We've got a preposition dans, in, and de l'Angleterre. C'est une vieille ville, so une vieille ville touristique et historique. Okay, so it is old. I've put the vieille in there. I didn't ask you to say that it was old, but I'm showing you with the red words how you can just make it a little bit more interesting with the words you already know. J'habite au centre-ville. So that was this one that we saw in the listening. Le quartier est bruyant. Again, le quartier, the area, that's in your fact book for this week. Est bruyant, it is noisy. And then I've gone on to say parce que c'est animé, because it's busy. Okay, we said there's a bit of traffic here. You could say other things, couldn't you? You could use your high frequency language down here. Okay, you could use il y a de la circulation. Or il y a beaucoup de circulation. Il y a trop de circulation, you could say. Okay, I haven't gone on and said that. I've just said parce que c'est animé. Okay, because it's busy. Again, we're bringing in the vocab that we've looked at before. And this is your high frequency language. This is on your learning for this week too. And this is really important. Say means it is. Ce n'est pas. Okay, it is not. It isn't. This is important. Okay, because it's a negative. Il y a, there is, and this, il n'y a pas de, there isn't or there aren't any. Okay, remember after the ne and the pas, you don't need to have any nouns, so you don't need to have, you don't need to have the un or the une or the le, la, le, you just need to have the noun. So I'll just say that again. So il n'y a pas de is a negative. You exchange and swap out the un or une or the le, la, le, okay, with a de instead. So il n'y a pas de cathédrale. Il n'y a pas de stade. Okay, you don't put the un or the une. Okay, so you've got 4 here. You've got York, St Ives, Keswick and London. Okay, I'm going to give you the high frequency language again so you can use it to reference. Pause the video and try to write some little descriptions, be as detailed as you can about each one of those places. Okay, so St Ives. I've put j'habite à St Ives. Il est situé au sud de l'Angleterre. Il se trouve au bord de la mer. C'est une petite ville touristique. J'habite sur une colline dans un quartier très calme. Okay, so here I've used here dans un quartier, in an area. Okay, part of my new vocabulary that I'm bringing in. Remember, petite describes the size of something, so it's a bags adjective. It goes before the noun. Touristique will go after the noun. Keswick, I've said j'habite à Keswick. Il se trouve dans le nord-ouest de l'Angleterre. Il se trouve près d'un lac. Okay, it's near a lake. C'est situé à la montagne. C'est une petite ville. We said that could be a town. What kind of town is it? I think it's quite a small one. It's a calme. It's quiet. I could have gone with a different adjective here. I could have said tranquille. I could have said silencieux, silencieuse, pardon, because it's une ville, but I didn't. I said calme because it looks like and sounds like the English, and I remembered it, okay? Parce qu'il n'y a pas beaucoup de touristes. There should be a U in between that here, where it says beaucoup. That's a spelling error. There you need a U, okay? So il n'y a pas beaucoup de touristes. Okay. And the last one, Londres, okay? Here you go, look, there's the correct spelling of beaucoup down there. Okay, I will change it on the PowerPoint, which will be over on Teams for you to access if you need to have a look at anything. Okay, so here I've just put it into a paragraph to show you that it's dead easy to get about 60 words. This is about 60 words, just built up. If I had a 40-word essay to do for my foundation writing task, okay, in an exam, I would need to have a think about what I wanted to put, and really I'd be kind of trying to put together really well constructed sentences to get those 40 words. Well, here already I've got 60 words from not really doing very much, okay? J'habite à Londres. Il se trouve dans le sud-est. If I'd said de l'Angleterre there, that'd be even better, okay? Because it's in the southeast of England. I could really increase my word count. C'est une grande ville historique et c'est la capitale de l'Angleterre, okay? I've put my de l'Angleterre here because it's the capital of England. That's a nice phrase. Steal it, use it. C'est touristique, mais aussi, okay, c'est une ville industrielle. So I've used mais and aussi, so but also, to link my sentences together, my conjunctions, okay. C'est très bruyant, so that's my intensifier, saying it's really noisy. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de monde, et c'est pollué car il y a trop de circulation. So I'm using my trop de from earlier, my too much. Beaucoup de monde means lots of people, okay. So again, steal the phrase, it's really good. We know beaucoup de means lots of, okay, because I've just really emphasised that with the spelling mistake on the last slide. C'est pollué, nice cognate there, okay. 60 words there, without really having to do put a lot of effort in, just by putting together everything we've done during this lesson so far, okay. So this, okay, when I've translated these sentences, sentence building is really important, isn't it? Because we've done it over the last few weeks, okay? And when I put these sentences together, I've got around 70 words or just over, okay? So I want you to have a go at translating some of these sentences in your head as we go through. You can pause it and then write them down after, okay? I live in Loughborough. It's a small town in the middle of England. It is a famous town because there is a university. It's quite noisy and very dirty. It is in the countryside. There is a forest. I don't like my town because there's nothing to do. It's boring. Okay, so pause now. Have a think about what that might look like, what those sentences might be in French. Write some of them down. Okay, and then when you're ready, we'll move on. Okay, so j'habite à Loughborough, nice easy start. We've said that lots this lesson. C'est une petite ville, okay. Il se trouve dans le centre de l'Angleterre, so all of the stuff we've already looked at. C'est une ville célèbre. Parce qu'il y a une université, not universitaire. Okay, there's a difference. You've got universitaire in your fact book, but actually that means a university town that's describing the type of town it is, like touristique or historique. So you'd have une ville universitaire, okay? But une université is the university itself. C'est assez bruyant et très sale. Il se trouve à la campagne. Il y a une forêt. There's a forest. Je n'aime pas ma ville. I don't like my town. Parce qu'il n'y a rien à faire. This is a really lovely phrase down here because there's nothing to do. So I want you to have a look at those. Do steal them if you want to, okay? Some of these phrases. This is a negative phrase. You've got rien for nothing. Parce que, because. Remember to take out your e's, okay? If you've got a vowel or a y, okay, next to the e, so you need to take it out. So you've got parce qu'il n'y a rien à faire. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a nice phrase because there's nothing to do, and it's boring. C'est ennuyeux, okay. Just by putting that into a paragraph, that's 70 words, and what I've done, okay, is added a few more words in here. So if we look through, so we've got I live in Loughborough again. It's a small town in the centre of England, really easy. You can change this for Melton Mowbray. What kind of town is it? Think about these things. It's a famous town. Melton Mowbray is a famous town. Why is it famous? Well, it's really famous for pork pies and cheese, isn't it? So have a think about how you could say that. Here, okay, so I'm talking about Loughborough now, which is my hometown, so it's noisy and dirty. And then I've said, car il y a beaucoup d'étudiants. That may be a bit unfair of me to say that, but I'm saying because. So I'm giving my opinion and saying why I think it. Il y a beaucoup d'étudiants. I'm using the beaucoup de, my intensifying phrase again, and étudiants are students. So because there's lots of students, it's quite noisy and really dirty. Loughborough se trouve à la campagne et il y a une grande forêt. There is just outside. There's a big forest, isn't there? If you think about where that might be, if you know the area. Je n'aime pas ma ville. I don't like my town. Parce qu'il n'y a rien à faire. Et je pense que c'est ennuyeux. So again, I've added this bit here. Je pense que. Okay, adding je pense que, I think that. Okay, it's added another dimension, just a bit more description. It's made it a bit more sort of GCSE-ified. That is a really good 86 word piece of writing. Okay, so you're nearly at 90 words there just by planning out and sentence building, thinking about what you might say. Okay, so what I want you to do before we end this is to pause the video and have a go at writing something like this for Melton. You can do it like this. You can actually write the English sentences down if it helps you to. Just follow this pattern, then follow this to translate what you want to say. Think about what you can say. Think about what we've done over the last 3 weeks. Then get some sentences going from that, from what you know, okay? From your fact book learning, from your negative phrases, from all the grammar we've done with adjectives. Think about everything you've looked at and then just get some phrases down. I've got here about 6, 9, 12, I've got 12 sentences here, which have equated to about 86 words, nearly 90 words there. Okay, so 12 sentences, you can do it. Okay, and you can email anything that you do write or anything you want to, any queries that you have or anything you want to know to either me, C. Newbold at John Furness, that's me, Mrs. Newbold, or Mrs. Grimes, C. Grimes, okay? Also, over on the JFC French channel, if you go into the JFC French page and write at and then one of our names, we are the only people who can see them. Only the teachers can see your questions. So if you've got a question, don't worry that everybody in the class is going to see, because they don't necessarily see everything that you put. It's just us that will see it. Okay, so don't feel silly about asking anything at all. There is actually a quiz that's going to be sent out to you this week via Teams. I'd like you to log on and answer the 20 questions. They're multiple choice, or just some quick sentences to fire off, or some quick one-word answers, okay? I want you to answer the 20 questions that are on there, because I want to know what you've learnt so far, okay? So there's a quiz on the fact book learning you've seen so far. It's probably easier if you come over on the Monday and do it, and then I can mark it and give you the instant feedback, okay? You'll be able to see what you're doing well and what's not going so well for you, and I'll be able to help you individually with any questions you might have. So I'd really like you to log on and answer those questions, okay, and have a go at that, and then I can see how well you're doing or not, and I can give you the support you need, okay? So you can find it on the assignments section of the JFC Year 10 French channel. Okay, and with that I'm going to say à bientôt et merci. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.